back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making homemade breaded pork tenderloins. You guys are going to need all these ingredients. I've got some Kellogg's corn flakes that are crushed. I've got a gallon of buttermilk. I've got salt. I got red hot seasoning. I've got some chopped onions. Of course, I got to have some smoked paprika. I've got black pepper, and I also have some onion powder, you guys. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and clean our meat. This is a full pork loin. You want to make sure that you see the fat and the marble and all that. You guys do not just want to go ahead and just get regular pork chops or the pork chops that are boneless or the pork chops that have the bone in it. You want to make sure you get pork loins. So all I'm doing right here, you guys, is just cutting everything up. You want to keep the thickness about 2 inches thick. We are also going to pound this out and make it a little bit tender, and it's going to also be a little bit wider when it cooks because we're going to dip it in flour and egg. So this is how it looks. How pretty are these? You should be able to get about maybe 6 to 7 of these with a full pork loin. So all I'm doing is trying to butterfly these open, make them look all beautiful and big, and give them that, you know, that Indiana pork loin look. I don't know if you guys know, but I did not know that breaded fried tenderloins is like an Indiana thing. I had no idea. I thought you can get tenderloins all over the world, but I guess Indiana is known for them. So I thought that was pretty cool. So all I'm gonna do here is just butterfly these things up, make them look pretty. I'm gonna stop talking and just play some music for you guys. Okay, so this is how they look after they have all been butterflied. I'm gonna take some wax paper and put it on top. And I do not have a meat tenderizer, so unfortunately I am gonna have to use a hammer, okay? Look, we're gonna find a way to make these things tender. And you wanna flatten them out till they're real thin, especially on the ends and in the center. What you don't want is for your tenderloin to be thick in the middle and real flat on the ends. So I'm just trying to beat the whole thing till it's nice and even, okay? And if you guys see those pieces of fat, do not cut those off. That is where the flavor is. So when you guys, you know, go to the grocery store and get your full pork loin and you decide to cut it up, do not trim off any of the fat. That is literally what makes this thing delicious. So please leave the fat on there. So all I'm doing here is just beating all of them up. And sometimes they'll have like little holes and stuff in them. That's okay. In the end, honey, when we batter it with the egg and the corn flakes and the flour, it is going to be wonderful. Of course, my sons had to get in, so I let them take the hammer. They thought that was fun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add in our full gallon of buttermilk. We are then going to go in here with some of that red hot seasoning. I do not have measurements for you guys. So if I had to guess, I would say about maybe 4 tablespoons of the red hot seasoning. The next ingredient I added was the smoked paprika. The next ingredient I added was the chopped onions. And now I'm adding some black pepper in. I am going to go in with some onion powder next. And the last and final ingredient is going to be sea salt. And I know it looks like I'm using a lot, but I promise you, we want to make sure this buttermilk is seasoned because we are not putting any seasonings onto our pork tenderloins. We're not seasoning them with salt and pepper. All the seasoning and all the flavor is going to come from this buttermilk. If you guys do not have buttermilk, you are more than welcome to use regular milk. If you do not have the red hot seasoning, you could also do like maybe a half a cup of hot sauce. All we're pretty much doing is we want to season the buttermilk, but we also want to make sure that our tenderloin has a lot of color and flavor, okay? So the hot sauce is for the color and flavor and spice, and then the buttermilk is just to make it nice and juicy and moist on the inside, okay? So I just have my whisk here and I'm just mixing all my ingredients up. Now our tenderloins are ready to go back in the buttermilk mixture. Like I said, if you guys do not have buttermilk, milk works just fine. If you guys wanted to skip this step, you technically could. You could still have a very delicious, successful tenderloin without adding buttermilk to it, but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of making a tenderloin, because if we want it to be good, we want it to be real good. So, you know, get you some buttermilk, okay? Just go to the store and get you some buttermilk. And as you see it, everything is nice and seasoned. So those delicious pork loin, aka tenderloins, are gonna be nice and delicious and seasoned. So now we're gonna go in here with about 4 cups of the crushed cornflakes. You guys could also use panko breadcrumbs. I'm gonna then go in here with about 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And honey, it wasn't enough cornflakes, so I added just a little bit more. We wanna kind of create like a crunchy, floury type of batter. We want it to definitely have a lot of crunch to it, because tenderloins are not supposed to be soft. They're supposed to be delicious and golden and crispy and wonderful. So that's exactly how we want it to be. We're just taking our whisk and mixing the flour and the crushed cornflakes together. And if you guys do not have crushed cornflakes, like if you guys don't have any at home, they actually Kellogg makes crushed cornflakes. You don't have to crush them yourself. They make them in the store. And to just give this a little bit of seasoning, I added a little bit of seasoning salt to this flour and cornflake mixture, just to make it have a little bit more flavor, because we are going to lose a lot of the seasonings when we fry it. Now this is the most important step. You have to have an egg wash when you are making fried breaded pork tenderloins, okay? You cannot make a tenderloin without dipping it in the flour and cornflake mixture and dipping it in the egg and dipping it back, okay? We're gonna make this back and forth, okay? So you wanna have 5 eggs. You can use medium or large or extra large, it really doesn't matter. And we're gonna mix this up. And I added in just a little bit of milk just to make sure everything blends up the way it's supposed to be. And we can go ahead and get ready for the dredging, whatever you want to call it, process, okay? So all we're doing is going in our cornflake and flour mixture first. You want to make sure you get it good on both sides and kind of pat it down, because I'm telling you, honey, you are going to lose a lot of that flour and cornflake when you put in that oil, okay? So we're going to dip it in that. Now we're going to bring it to that egg mixture, baby, and we're going to take it back to where it started from, which was the beginning, back into the cornflake and flour mixture. And it literally does not have to be perfect. You do not have to put as much as I'm putting on there. That's just how I like to make mine. And we can go ahead and put it in our pan and get it nice and fried up. OMG. So after about 5 minutes, that is how your tenderloin should look. And basically, it's time to flip this baby over, okay? Look at that. That looks so delicious. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is drain it and put it on a paper towel. And I also have another one that I'm about to make, and I have about 7 of these. So we're gonna start with onions, tomato, lettuce, and some mayo, and then we're gonna finish with mustard and ketchup. And I also made some crinkle fries on the side, you guys. This was fire! Look at Ramir, he loves it. Look at Ramil, he loves it. My kids really enjoyed this, you guys. If you guys have kids, you got a husband, you got a girlfriend, you got a mom and daddy, make this for your family, because they will truly love it. You will not have to go out and get you a tenderloin. You can make it at home, girl, okay? You guys like this video? Make sure you leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe.